Hey, hello, hello, hello. Mark, thank you so much. Let me just replay that jingle real quickly.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Mark, thank you so much for the
Happy anniversary, smile. Hope you're feeling revived, tongue.
Thank you so much, Mark, for this tier 3. 76 months. Unbelievable. Let me try to find my button where I have to applause. Where's applause, applause, applause? There it is. And why is it not working? All right. Oh, there it is. Just a bit delayed. Mark, once again, thank you so much. Yeah, so Marcus knows that I'm fasting right now. So it's day 6 on my fast. So 6 days now without any food. And today I'm actually feeling a little bit, I don't know, exhausted, but no worries. We're still going to pull through the stream today and looking forward to it because we're back in the 777. And I'm looking forward to having a look at the 777 fly-by-wire system and especially the flight control laws and the protections that they actually offer on the 777. All in preparations for the upcoming PMDG 777, but also I've heard rumors that Flight Factor is making a 777 as well. So who knows? I know that we often have some, I don't know, some skepticism when it comes to Flight Factor, but we'll see. Maybe they have new programmers. Again, we're trying to, be open-minded going into that. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I've also read a Twitter from Flight Factor saying they're also working on a 787, which gets me very excited. But I think that's still far out. I think the tweet was like 2 years old, so I don't know where they stand with that. But anyways, some stuff to look forward to, which I really do.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel
Hey,
subscriber
Cavari Cooper coming
experience.
in.
Could new
How are you?
subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Cavari Cooper, thank you so much. Also for 14 months now. I think it's a lot longer, Cavari, because you've been here a member and you've been here for a very long time. So thank you so much for that. Carl Beard, sorry for the late reply on YouTube there. So you watched a video of a 787 video today and you pulled up a checklist. I think you said something about an app. Yeah, so it's called Flow and the version is Pro. So they have several versions for that, and it's from Parallel 42. That's the add-on maker, the app maker. So Parallel 42. You should know that because the Parallel 42 guys have also made this one here, what was this thing called? Yeah, it's the fast, guys. Chase plane, thank you. It's the fast. My brain only works like 70%, so forgive me. MT Cross, hello to you as well. Captain Mitchell, hi. Nanok, yes. You just finished the trip. Yeah, hope I had a good landing. Happy landing indeed, but not having charts. Oh yeah, that's kind of. But there are some free charts around as well, which may not be completely up to date, but maybe worth looking at. And Voyager, moin, wie geht's dir? Dennis, hello, Flying Wolf, nice to see you. Well, hang on. Flying Wolf. So you've got a message somewhere that Flight Factor will release the 777 before PMDG? You're joking. Seriously? Yeah, so people sometimes ask me, hey, Black Box, do you... Yeah, so Carl, be aware, Carl, when you get the app, the black box files are not in there. However, you can get those for free on my Discord. So if you want to have the infos to that, let me just give you that, and then you have to. I'm not sure if you're already on my Discord. If not, here's a description. And there's two parts to this. Just give me a second. Man, this is annoying here. I don't know why I can't insert text longer than like 50. So Carl, here's the description how to get your Twitch account linked to my Discord, and then in the flight sim help section on my Discord, there you'll find a section where you can download the app for free, or actually the black box additional stuff. Cool. Oh, if Flight Factor, sorry. So if Flight Factor releases before PMDG. Oh yeah, because I thought you heard something about that. But okay, yeah, that's true. That would be quite funny, yeah. But then again, I mean, it's it's for X-Plane, isn't it? So while PMDG is for Microsoft Flight Sim, the 777 from Flight Factor will be in X-Plane. Just for those that don't know exactly what we're talking about. Anyways, I just need to download my procedures here for the 777. They're very similar to the 787, but I just want to make sure that I have those available. I'm going to do that on my iPad, and then we get cracking. Yeah, for me, I don't know why. It's for some reason it's showing 120 FPS right now, which can't be right. It can't be 120 FPS. No, P3D would never run at 120 FPS. It's extremely smooth, but I put it to half refresh rate, so it should be a 60. I think it's just a problem with the overlay I have. Hang on, let me just check here. No, I don't have that overlay here. Hang on, or do I? No. Thank you much, Carl. So, Carl, if you have difficulties finding that section, give me a shout. I will then lead you to it. All right. Cool. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my file. So I have the electrical power 777. So that is actually from the Flow Pro app, which I've in a PDF format. And so the following procedure is accomplished to permit safe application of electric power. So battery switch on is on. Then we make sure that the center 1, center 2 ELIC pump selectors are off. Those are off. Demand pump selectors are off, all 4 of them. Wipers are off, left and right, and the landing gear lever is down. And the alternate flap selector, which is here, is off. And then electrical power established. Now, we don't have electrical power just yet. Let me get GSX going here. Request additional services, request the GPU. Franz, where did you get that info? Because I have not heard the info yet that the 777 should release in about 4 to 5 weeks. Yeah, nice, Carl. As well, Carl, feel free to ask questions on my Discord. We've got lots of wonderful people that are, willing to help. Yeah, P3D still has a vibe. To be honest, I think I will actually just leave P3 installed. $8 to $10, okay. They announced end of December that they will be out in 8 to 4 weeks. Nice, thank you. Cool. Magenta Dagger, hello to you as well. Sorry for the late call out. And again, for all those on YouTube, please feel free to ask questions. Don't be shy. If you have any questions, anything I do here, just ask. Now, it doesn't really help here, does it? So, well, actually, this is interesting. So how do I now? How do I get to ground power? Yeah, the thing is though, yeah, battery is on. So the battery is on. Trying to get, you know, plus on brightness. Ah, here. Let's have a look. No. No. You have to change to, what's wrong with the stream title? Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Hold on. Yeah, I've got it right on here. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, it should be changed now. Press and hold menu button. Press and hold. Ah, you're right. Cheers. Thank you so much. I didn't know that. I've been using PMDG for such a long time, and I've never known that. So return. So FS actions, ground connections, ground power request. Thank you. Cheers. Cool, because then electrical power established. So we can, well, we could have started the APU as well, but didn't want to do that on the battery power. There we go. Fantastic. So we're going to get, cheers. Eagle Motion, V. Ali, FlightFX released a few pictures yesterday of 787. Yeah, that's exactly. So Ali, that's the one I saw. Yeah, I just clicked menu button. That was my problem. So now we can see it's coming alive. I'm just need to try something because that is still a bit weird. Why it doesn't? Well, I guess the power up takes a while, so we're just gonna be patient. I've learned that I have to be patient here. Yeah, I know, self-test, right? So, on the other hand, there should be something about options. Colors, no? Where's brightness? Performance? Let's put 30 everywhere. I love how it's making all these noises. Ah, there we go. Now it's getting ready. Cool. Okay, I'm not going to touch anything. Yeah, you guys are the pros when it comes to flight simulation, I have to admit. It's alive. It's alive. Cool. So let's quickly go over the panel. So Adira is on. We'll check the panel here. Everything as it should be. We'll put the MO switch to armed. That is all correct. That is all correct. I'm going to put the seatbelt signs on. You're a pro enthusiast. Pro flight sim enthusiasts. Yeah, absolutely. Engine light is already in auto. I'm going to put the nav lights on. Tell the ground staff that we've got the electrical power on. Packs will go on. That all is normal. That is all off. We're going to do a light test. That looks Gucci. Fantastic. And then we'll do a overheat test here. Fantastic. Fire test in progress. We'll do the same here. Actually, where's the fire test? Oh, there. No, it's not. That's the unlock button. Yeah, empty cross, exactly. Yeah, it's just these flight sims all differ. Sometimes very, by very small amounts, but for me, trying to get my head around all of these different flights, flight sims per se, so X-Plane and P3D and Microsoft, and then all these different aircraft. Yeah, sometimes I kind of get stuck somewhere. But I'm glad I've got you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the help. It's on the aft overhead. Is that for all of them? Ah, that's for all of the switches. Okay, see? That's why. Excellent. Let me just try log in here for the services. So we're going from Seattle to San Francisco, and I'm quite happy that the weather has improved here in Seattle. It was raining earlier on, as usual. So so estimated time en route, according to my flight plan, it's supposed to be 1 hour 37. We should be real time, but I guess sometimes it doesn't work. 1720, yeah, it's actually real time. Fantastic. So we're departing. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. 0137 here, and we're departing at 1745. Yeah, let's try that. And flight ID is going to be Delta 4158, and hopefully for engine start we will hear some differences because I have a sound pack installed, TSS sound pack, so that has a nice the nice roar when the engines come to life. I just know. Cool. So that should be data linked, and let's have a look here at FMC. Oh, actually, I have my FMC here on my right hand side, so that's quite handy. Let's see if I can get that actually working. Sterile. No, yoke. There we go. Let me add a capture device. Yeah. Let's add that here. Well, actually, let me have a look. I'm going to add the thrust levers in a minute to that. Now, that's how pros do it. Hey, Bob, how you doing? So we're going to have position. We'll take the GPS position. Route request. Request sent. then we'll load. We'll activate, execute that, and it should upload the Voyager. I don't know. So, so we've got the departure arrival. So let's go index, actually legs page, root data. Although that is the performance upload. Performance, we're going to reject that because we're going to calculate our performance later. And now we have the wind data uplinked, and we go that and load that under the root page. Yeah, I've got to find a space. So Dennis, I have to find a space for that joystick because I have two cupboards that I can place it on, but the one on the right is completely full with all the hardware add-ons. So yeah, forgive me. I need to find a space for that. I know. Cool. Let's execute that. And then we go to the descent page. Cruise page. Where's my in it? Index. Performance. Oh, yeah, that's why. No, that's right. That's page 3, isn't it? There we go. Page 3. Thank you. Load. Yeah, so I was actually wondering. So Bob, you were now in Amsterdam, correct? So yeah, I was really wondering about that. You get around, my God. So regarding performance data, we'll do that in a minute. So we've done the following. So we're going to do departure arrival. Let me just have a look at the current weather. Seattle.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black
And
Box
it's
Twitch
160
channel
at 6. So it's going to be 16 for departure,
Can you subscribers
which is
please
nice.
make your
So
way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served.
hey, Depechi.
Thank you.
64 months, Christ.
Wow. 64 months. Delta 4. 1. 5. 8. Boeing 7.7.7200. Some numbers.
Yes, some
Thanks
numbers.
as always.
Depechi, and thank you for your support. Thank you so much. Big round of applause for that. So on the META it says light rain, which I don't see at the moment, luckily, but we'll see. So it's going to be definitely 1.6, and if we pull up the charts, so actually we can get pilot edge weather. Now the reason I'm not going to be on any control today is my brain doesn't work fully because I'm still fasting, as I've mentioned, and B, I'm going to try to demonstrate some stuff regarding the fly-by-wire system. So it's one thing to talk about it, but I think it's going to stick better for everyone interested if I do that with some demonstrations as well. And I actually was surprised how similar the fly-by-wire system is compared to 777 compared to the 787. So quite fascinating stuff. So let's go pilot edge update. So pilot edge says for Seattle, departing 16 center, 16 left, 16 right. That means we're going to have a look at the charts. So we are currently here, which is strategically well positioned. Oh no, disregard. It's not well positioned. It's badly positioned. We've got a taxiway all the way up here, and I think we'll take the left one for departure, and then we're supposed to take the Harrop 6 departure. So 16 left, and Solowings. Hey, bonjour, monsieur. Ça va? Bob, no, I'm not flying a pilot. Like I said, my brain, I'm still fasting. Day 6, my brain is still not 100% working. So I just fear that I am going to completely mess up. That's interesting. So, oh, not like Bangor, the Harrop 6. So let me correct that. Erase. So 16 left, Harrop 6. See what I mean? And the exit point is Erase. There we go. Information Alpha. Hey, how you doing? Oh, so that's a good question. So someone asked if Microsoft Flight Sim is released for PMDG 777, is released or is releasing the 777 for Microsoft Flight Sim, will you still play P3D? It could be. It could be, and I'm telling you, it depends on how the flight model is in Microsoft Flight Sim. However, like I said at the beginning of the stream, we are expecting a 777 to come out on X-Plane from Flight Vector. We'll see how accurate and how well that is simulated. And if that is good, then probably yes. Then I probably will actually ditch P3 at some point. Yeah. Yeah, Bob, my pleasure. Yeah, you know, Bob, it really helps me as well because that way it just keeps my mind off food. Because obviously there is going to be some cravings from time to time. Although I didn't feel hunger that much. But you know, it just helps me to pass by some time. Which fly-by-wire do you like more, Airbus or Boeing? Well, I have to admit, here on the 787, but well, on the 787 I'm flying now in real life, I have to admit that fly-by-wire system feels great, especially in combination with that yoke. It's well made. It is really, really, really well made. If any one of you gets a chance to sometime fly a level B simulator 787, do it. It's definitely worth it. You will see what I mean. And I know that Lee, he's not here yet, but Lee has done so, and he can confirm that. Avenger, thank you so much.
Good evening at Blackbox 711 and chat.
I salute you, Avenger. How are you doing? 56 months. And again, big support of the channel, Avenger. Thank you so much for all your help, all your support. Much appreciated. Cool. So let's continue quickly with the routing. So we've got departure 16 left, the Harrop 6 departure. So it's going to climb heading 164 to at or above 932 feet, then direct to Cavop. So 932 Cavop, correct. Then track 166 to Renby at or above 3000, correct. Oh, actually, you know what? Disregard. Hang on. I have an EFB. Back. So load from FMS complete. So let's quickly do edit clip. We will have departures Harrop 6. There it is, complete. So then go page down, page up it is. So we're going to zoom in. And let me fetch my FMS here. So so we're departing to the south, obviously, and we check everything to Renby, and then to Harrop. Yeah, on depicted route to Harrop. So Renby 3000, Richer, Emerald, Harrop. Harrop 10,000 above, correct. Then we have to transition. Top altitude is assigned by ATC, busy airspace. So we go to Arave. So we're going to go from Harrop. Harrop. We're going to go direct to Arave, and then we continue on our flight planned route all the way down to Malbec, or however you pronounce that. So destination. Hang on. No, hang on. How do I get to... Oh, there we go, San Francisco. I haven't used this for a while. Du Ulas, guten Abend, wie geht's? So Airbus or Boeing after all? Well, I think both aircraft have their pros and cons. So it's not as if you can say, you know, Airbus is much, much better everywhere. There are certain aspects that I prefer in Airbus, and there's aspects that I prefer in the Boeing planes. So we're going to take the Bodega 3 arrival. The approach will be very lightly. It's actually, you know what? It's 120 at 6. But that's still going to be 2.8, isn't it? Can somebody maybe check on Flight Radar 24 if or some other service which runway is news right now? I mean, actually disregard. I have the ATIS as well. Hang on, let me just get through ATIS. They're landing, according to Pilot Edge, they're landing 28 right. Departing ones. Yeah, thanks guys. Sorry, disregard. So 28 it is. So we're going to take 28 right, and I am going to try 28 right. Thank you. I am going to try an RNAV approach. So let me have a look. RNAV. Zulu 28 right. So that's the Bodega 3. So we're going to take departure arrival and zoom in a bit. That's the Bodega, and we will be arriving via Malbec, so via this waypoint here. So I'm going to take San Francisco arrival here, and then we said we're going to take the Zulu 28 right, and the Bodega 3 via Malbec. Execute. And then now there's one more for the approach. And there it is. So it's going to be via Archie. There's Archie there. So I'm going to take Archie as a transition point. Execute. So let's check that routing. Malbec. We'll check the waypoints later. Dunbar, and so on. Yeah, that's all correctly programmed. Fantastic. Happy with that. Cool. Hey, the Belgian pilot. Hello to you. Welcome. How are you doing? That actually means let's request boarding.
The boarding requested.
Cancel those messages really quickly. So the flight plan says we are going to cruise at 350. The cost index is 13. The zero fuel weight expected 187.0. And the reserves for that's going to be Sacramento 5.9. Thrust limit we'll do in a minute, so that's that filled out. RATNAV for departure. Now, what do we need for departure? So we go back 1. So Seattle, Harrop, there we go. Sorry, I need to do... These things are not automatic here, so I've got to go and open the doors.
Passengers deboarding starting.
So we'll have that open, and then we're going to have the cargo doors aft bulk. There we go. Oh, do you prefer the Airbus? I said, like I said, Dagger. As I said, it's going to be the Boeing fly-by-wire, and just because of that combination. So I was going to have a look at the VOR. So Seattle, I'm going to enter here. So I'm going to go RATNAV Seattle, and we'll fix that in here.
Do you want to deboard crew?
Nope. How much the board? So request boarding. Weather isn't too bad. Quite like it. Hey Pale Ale, nice to see you. How are you? Good. That's the route 2. Now here we actually do have a route 2, so we can do a route copy. So that's route 2 now. We could do a return here, for example. So Seattle, and then route 2, departure arrival. So we're going to be careful where we enter stuff. So arrival, I would then put the ILS 16 center, for example. Just so we have that preset in case anything would go wrong on departure. Now on my actions, I'm going to put fuel. So according to the flight plan. Now let me just have a look at the weather in San Francisco. Right now it is 10 miles, fuel 1000, broken 1600, 9 degrees. So stable weather. The forecast is also good. So there's no threats. Sacramento, same. Very stable weather now in California. That is good to know. So no threats there, nothing that we have to worry about. That means for our fueling, we are going to be requiring around about 18.8. I'm going to put in a little bit of taxi fuel. So 18.8. Which isn't much, right, for the 777. Look at the total amount you can insert. Absolutely crazy. For the payload, we are going to expecting a zero fuel weight of 187 roundabout. So currently we've got a little bit less than that. Let's try to fix that here. Yeah, so let's say we've got one. Well, actually, let's put 58 in here. Yeah, 187.1. That's a good value. Cool. So that is set. Now let me go back to init, index, performance. So that's set. And then we're going to go back to the EFB, and let's calculate the values. Now what's happening on? They're offloading still. Let me just restart that quickly, because that could take a while. So request boarding.
requested.
Now it says enter the number of passengers, 295. It is. So we'll take that one. That's fine. Just so they get some animations, that's all really. Good. So, oh, we've got to switch back to route 1. So route 1. Because I had a blue routing indication there, that's why. Excellent. So let's go back to menu, performance. Now let's copy FMC data. So Seattle 16 left. Conditions going to be wet.
Do you want a board crew?
No. And the wind is 160 at. Show keyboard. There we go. 160 at 6. Temperature 7. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct. And the QNH is 3003. Show weight and balance. So I'm going to put fuel. Oh, it's still in pounds. Hang on. Disregard. Menu. System page. So we have kilograms in Celsius. Save. Menu performance. So fuel and taxi out fuel. Let's put 400 in there. 400. Planned trip fuel is, according to the flight plan, 9885. 9885. So it says 18.8. Complete. Oh, does it do that as well? Hang on. Hold on. Right keyboard. Takeoff, weight and balance, right keyboard. Oh, you're right. Thank you. Yeah, so we're all good with the loading, etc., etc. Yeah, all good. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Flying Wolf, fantastic. So complete. So the takeoff weight later is going to be 205, 500. That's correct. CG 26.6. So the thrust rating is going to be, well, it doesn't offer me optimum. That's a long runway. I'm going to go with TO2 because the 777 is very powerful and we're very light. So we'll have optimum, PAX, auto, anti-ice. Well, we need engine anti-ice. No. Engine anti-ice on. Let's count that. Hey Lilo, well the beta, I don't know how many people actually have the beta version, but right-hand main landing gear, interesting name. Does have the green band extension, and does it? What do you mean the extension of the green band? You mean this? Yeah, the 787 has it here on the ICAS. Yeah, it's visible there. Yeah. Open beta. Yeah, it has that, yeah. So what it means is the following. So as long as the actual trim setting is within the green band area, you can correct any wrong trim input set by a bad setup bad preparations by control force inputs. But if it goes outside of that trim band, then you will not be able to overpower any wrong CGs anymore. So then the aircraft potentially will go uncontrollable. So we are going to send that data. So copy, no, send. Oh, it doesn't have send output. Well, that's interesting. I thought it had that. Oh, anyways. So we'll have takeoff 2. It gives me a selected temperature of 40. We'll go with climb 2. Takeoff is then a flaps 5. CG is 26.6. And then the speeds, well, it is wet, so it's taken a lower V2 to have an increased stop margin. Then we have 137 and 144. Excellent. So we're going to take the airport info here. Cool. There's also an airport map, so we can actually zoom in here and have that ready. Cool. Now we pretend that ATC clears up to level 200, and the heading. Let's match the book. That's pretty. Yeah, that was 164 3003. Flight directors on. V2 speed 144, very low. LNAV, VNAV is armed, and then we will check the oxygen. Test that. Overhead panel looks good. Let's start the APU. Final preparations ongoing. Squawk. Well, we get the clearance now, and squawk will be 256. Oops. I'm just going to type it in. 2566. As cleared, climb 10,000. I'm going to put terrain mode on here. Although, actually, no, disregard. We're going to put terrain mode on the right-hand side, because here in P3D, we actually do have the ability to use the weather radar. So we'll have a look for any storms out there. And hopefully it will be good. Cool. Let me review the status message. So no status. Let's review the ICAS. Hydraulic pressure normal, engine shutdown normal, doors normal, TCAS off normal, brake source. That's because of the hydraulics. And fuel pressure left and right engine, because fuel pumps are still off. That's all normal. That is fine. Right, APU. Is running, so we can get rid of the external power. And park and brake is set. Ground connections. Disconnecting ground power. Fantastic. Excellent. So it looks like the last pieces of cargo are going in. Then we're going to look at the checklist. So checklist usage here in the 777, similar to the 787. So parts of these are monitored. So that means that they will be noticed by the flight warning computer system, and so they will be ticked automatically. However, there are a couple of things that the system cannot primary flight display, mode, and stations. Right? The system cannot sense that, so that's why it will ask you for that. The same thing it cannot sense if you've tested the oxygen, for example. So let's do the pre-flight checklist. Oxygen test 100%. Flight instruments, we have heading 161. Actually, heading 164. No, the actual heading. So 161, the actual heading. And the current altimeter set 3003 and indicating 450. So that is checked. Now what it does, you see that magenta cursor here. So when you click on that and tick that, it jumps automatically to the next logical point. It's just autosave right now, which is then the normal button, and it says checklist complete, and then it will jump. If you press normal, it will now jump to the next logical page, which would be the before start checklist. And again, it jumps straight to the first item. You don't need to move that cursor, and as you tick through, it always jumps to the next correct position. Good, so then the briefings, we're just waiting for everything to close up or get finished down here. They are finished. Let's close up. So let's do doors, close all. Yeah, everything's closing. And normally we would have the doors page open. Then would have all doors in flight. Make sure all doors are armed. So we've got the clearance, and then we're going to go through the before start flows. So the before start procedure. Now I have VNAV set. I'm going to wait until the first officer switches on the hydraulics so that I can move the stabilizer. So we would go, doors would checked in armed. Just go FMC here, next page. And then we have the trim set once it switches on. So now here's the thing. You have to switch on the right hydraulic system first to avoid fluid transfer between the left and right system. So this one goes to auto. We'll wait until the fault light extinguishes. You can see the pressure's now building. Once the pressure is at the set value of 3000 psi, in the 787 it's actually 5000 psi. And then we go through the center panel. So we go switch everything electrical on first, then the demand pumps. And again, once that reaches 3000, the fault light will go off. This one will remain on because right now, due to the system state, so before engine start, this isn't actually required at the moment, so please, this will stay on, that's normal. And then we switch on the left hydraulic. In the meantime now, I can set the trim, which is 3.75, it's almost there, fantastic. And so my items are finished, rest of the items now, so the first officer does the right-left fuel pumps, center stays off. Then the beacon light on, cancel recall check. So we have engine shutdown and TCAS off. And transponder on. And then we will read the before start checklist. So, before start checklist. Flight deck door, let's just check that, is closed and locked. MCP V2144 heading 164, altitude 10,000. Takeoff speeds V1 122, V1 122 1 VR 137 V2144. CD pre-flight is completed. Trim 3.75 units, 0 and 0. Taxi takeoff briefing completed, and that's the before start checklist completes. Then we'll call for pushback. Then we switch on the engine page for engine start. Now, contrary to the 787, the engines here start with bleed air, not electric. I actually have to restart Quattro once more. Hey Toto, nice to see you. Toto, how are you? How are we doing? Well? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I keep hitting that when I try to enter something in the CDU. Yeah, so again, so the 777 doesn't have an electric generator starter, so it needs bleed air to start the engines.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
So bleed air, so you know bleeding, right? If you're bleeding. So bleed air is referred to either the APU or the engine compressor section, where you have extraction bleed ducts, which will, when necessary for engine start or wing or engine anti-icing.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Will extract bleed air, so compressed air from the compressor, usually from two different stages, so that you can cover the low RPM and high RPM areas.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
And that's why it's called bleed air, because the engine then is bleeding air, so compressed air. And the bleed air is used, like I said, for engine start, because the bleed air is very hot. So it's very good to be used for engine de-icing, or engine de-icing, wing de-icing, etc. Ha! Toto, yeah, I know. We talked about this the other day. So that would be great, yeah. If you had like at a Challenger 650, you had these pages you can call up where it shows you all of the live data, all of the systems, and so on. Yeah, that would definitely help. Yeah. So quick edit pushback. Now let me see how I do that here. So it's the same. It's similar. So we're going to have to go and put the aircraft here. Then we have to. It's interesting that it doesn't have. Oh, it does. Still quite it takes a lot of keyboard pushes. I just will give GSX the chance to not mess up. No. No, Toto. You need to tell GSX. No, so Pyroplaster, you need to reload the browser, Pyroplaster. I did change the title. Use F7, F8. Huh? Oh, you're right. Ah, you see, that's a thanks. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, Brandup. Here's an expert again regarding GSX. Yeah, it does kind of minute, bigger movements. So let's do that.
Exiting from editing
Due to
mode.
icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set.
Good, so engine start. If there's no oil pressure indication after each T increase, do the aborted engine start checklist. So engine, secondary engine display select and start sequence announced. So we're going to start 2 and then 1, and there is no overlapping start here in the 777. So it says, note, GE engines must be started individually, and Rolls-Royce engines may be started at the same time. That's interesting. Okay, interesting notes. So F7, F8 also works the Microsoft Flight Sim. I need to try that next time. Anyways, so we have engine start. So let's go up here. So let's go start engine 2. Start valve, PAX valve are now closed, and here comes. Alright, let's listen to it.
Set parking brakes.
Oh yeah, I love that sound. Blimey, that's good. Cool. Park brake set.
Unlocking gear.
Good engine start. Start engine 1. Yeah, Pyroblaster.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass has been removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Yeah, Pyroblaster, that's why it says P3D in the title as well. Wow, those sounds. Amazing. Lovely. So before taxi items, flaps 5. So making the all clear signal, there it is. So first officer checks engine anti-ice. Well, so we are on ground, 7 degrees, rain. Engine anti-ice will go on. And then we're going to press the recall, TCAS off, just one press. We leave that on until lineup so that we can have a reminder that TCAS is still off. Flaps are set. And then, oh, APU needs to be off. So APU is off. And then we'll have the flight control check. So we'll take flight controls, quick check of the flight controls, up, down. Oh, while we're here, let me show you the rudder. You see it has a large tab or large rudder surface and a smaller tab. And we'll get to that later. So full left, full right, full down. Well, did that. And then we'll have the before taxi checklist. And again, it jumps automatically to the correct checklist. So anti-ice, engine anti-ice on, recall check, flight controls check, ground equipment clear, and that's the before checklist completed. So now we get a taxi clearance, taxi 16 left, left side clear, right side clear, brakes off, off we go. Toto writes, just read some article that the 777X is most definitely using still conventional bleed architecture. Yeah, that's what I heard as well. Which is a shame, right? Because the 787 uses those pack compressors, or the air compressors, where, yeah, you just take air straight from the outside, not through the bleed system. And I can only imagine, because of the size of the 787, so the cabin size, the cabin interior, that they needed to go back to the bleed system. That's just my guess, though. I'm not an expert in this. And yeah, Toto, of course, as well. If you look at the architecture between the current 777, yeah, I would imagine, yeah, definitely will take a lot of changes as well. And then you have the FAA that will definitely check as well now, very closely. It's interesting that the nose gear here is actually dampened in its movement. That's nice. Yeah, so if they improved, like, you know, yeah, the flight deck is new. Obviously, it's a lot closer to 787 now. Oh, I have a feeling I have two sceneries installed here. Or, well, not, maybe there's something regarding the signs, that's why. So I have the Drvichki. And I think this is one of those scenery issues where some of the signs are double. It's not necessarily the airport that is double. I went the wrong way. Darn. Sorry, we'll enter the runway. Good thing we're not on pilot edge. Like I said, my brain is not working 100% today. What do you mean, Depeche Gesundheit? I'm not ill. I just have.
Welcome aboard the Captain Black Box Twitch channel subscriber.
I'm on fast, day 6, so that's
Could new
why.
subscribers please make your way to the first
Mark, thank you
class
so
cabin,
much.
where complimentary
Yeah, exactly.
snacks and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Mark, thank you so much. Gifting us up to Toto, Mark. Much appreciated. Yeah, Flying Wolf, I remember that as well. And there is, if you go into some forums, look for help, and you sometimes find that you have to take out a certain file somewhere. Right, so Toto writes, because it affects a lot of things, the environment control system would need to be re-engineered, preservation control, engine starting, electrical architecture. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right, Toto. There's a lot of stuff that just, you know, it's like we call it a rat's tail. So you change one thing and it has an effect on so many other parts of the aircraft, which will then make it so much more complicated. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the type commonality is definitely a very big issue. That's why we have the issue now of the 777 MAX, because they forced things in there which, you know, was so different to the NGs, especially the classics, that they would have needed a new type rating really, which would have made it a lot more expensive for the airlines. Home email, yeah, well, we talk about some stuff. Look, guys, the thing is, so home email, if you want, I can just go and not talk at all, not read chat, and I'll have the aircraft ready in 30 minutes. But then I get bored, right? Because I do want the interaction with my you know, valued viewers here. And so if people type in chat, I will read the message and then I'll answer the question. So that just takes time, sorry to say. Okay, so today I am actually using a payware add-on No hate, all good. All right, no worries. So the Seattle add-on. So I have Dorvichkis. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Seattle add-on, which has also the Boeing field and the what's the other field here? I don't remember. So and then I have the Orbix True Earth Washington State. Oh, 737 MAX. Did I say 777 MAX? Yeah, again, sorry, it's another brain fart. Yeah. Oh, don't worry about it, it's just the autosave lag, which I can't get rid of, unfortunately. But I'd rather have autosave on than having to restart everything from the beginning. So takeoff data check, we still have everything the same, no changes, still valid. And radar, we'll took the radar mode on here. We've got terrain mode on the right hand side. Cabin ready was announced, heard that. Radar, terrain mode on as well for this first officer. Takeoff data checked. And then we'll do the before takeoff checklist. And that's already sensed, so ticked. And that's the before takeoff checklist complete. And the captain will then reply, checklist complete. Then we'll do the lineup procedure. Correct runway, 16 left is identified. Landing lights on. We'll have the TARA mode on. Strobe lights come on as well. Toto, I'm trying. That's the thing. I'm trying to say that. Good. Let's look at the checklist. It doesn't have a lineup checklist. The next checklist is after takeoff, so we'll leave that as is. And then let's go. We'll do a rolling takeoff here, and we'll have the yoke cam on. All set. Let's run the timer. And wind should be from the front. Takeoff, 40%. Thrust ref. Thrust set, 8 knots, checked. Trying to regain the center line here. And again, the acceleration is so huge. V1. Rotate. Pause right. Gear up. And I have to admit, the rotation here that's interesting. The rotation is actually much more realistic. So LNAV, VNAV speed, autopilot on. Flaps 1, speed is checked, flaps 1. Yeah, we can get the anti-ice to auto as well. Seattle in the background. Beautiful. Waiting for the up. There is flaps up. Well, actually, you can put the flaps up on acceleration when you pass the 1 flap speed. Mike, hey, yeah, absolutely. So 3,000 above is covered, and we've got climb 2 set as well. So the flaps are up, gears up. Let's do the checklist. After takeoff checklist. Checklist complete. Filippo, hey, I'm doing well. How are you? Yeah, so the rotation here felt so much more realistic because all I had to do is I had to input a certain pitch input in the yoke, and then I could feel the aircraft start rotating. And if I'm happy with the rotation speed, I could simply put the yoke back to neutral and well, actually not to the actual position. I just hold the position of the yoke as it is, and that means that rotation rate will just continue as it is. If it's a bit slow, I will increase the yoke input a little bit more. That means it will increase the rotation rate. And then if I decrease the yoke input, it will decrease the rotation rate. But again, if I'm happy with the rotation rate, all I do is I keep the yoke steady and it'll maintain that rate. Exactly. C-star U logic. So here's VNAV out, 10,000. Beautiful. Home email. Usually you click on the ground. Which was, oh yeah, no. So home email. Yeah, I know. Sometimes a bit quicker, but today I did want to take the time. By default, there's a huge dead zone. I haven't noticed that, to be honest. I haven't noticed that. Okay, so if I notice anything, I will remove the null zone or increase the. Oh, you removed the null zone. Okay. The thing is, though, I have a fear that if I remove the null zone, then that would then increase some noise input into the yoke, which I don't really want. Click on that. We've got thrust ref, VNAV speed. I'm going to put in the climb page. So VNAV, climb. So the restriction was at Harrop, 10,000 above. And that's what we have.
Welcome aboard the
Passing 10,000, lights off.
Subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
I'm just going to dial down these sim sounds just a tad.
Good
wow,
evening.
that climb rate.
Hope all is well.
Pod, thank you so much once again for 12 months. I know it's longer than that, but here on Twitch now, 12 months, and a big round of applause for 1 year. Thank you, Pod. Hyro Blaster, because Microsoft is not allowing it, and that's quite surprising, isn't it? Because I mean, Chase Plane has been so good here in P3D, and Parallel 42 have already made some great apps for Microsoft Flight Sim. So I don't know why or where the problem is. I love how the weather has cleared up. Absolutely beautiful. So above 10,000 feet is a procedure as well for the pilot monitoring, and so seatbelts off when able. Well, the pitch is still pretty high, so I'm going to wait with the seatbelts on the pitch just lower. Landing lights off. Those are off already. And then NAFRAT check, and we did enter something, so I'm going to clear that. I'm going to delete that. Have that back on automatic, and that's all that needs to be done. It is a beast. Now, you know, I'm not flying the 777 in real life, so I don't know exactly how the aircraft would perform at this weight with climb. Oh, it's taking climb. So this is the thing. So it goes at some point, it will automatically go and increase the derated climb 2 back to climb. So here's 18,000. Standard is set and cross-checked. Yeah, so 777 driver says, so 777 driver, are you flying the 777 in real life by any chance? Just wondering. Hey, Azan, lovely to see you.
Twitch channel subscriber experience. Could new subscribers please make your way to the first class cabin, where complimentary drinks, snacks, and premium flight entertainment will be served. Thank you.
Azan, thank you for the 45 months, and I'm so always. I'm so happy when I see. Yeah, well, I'm happy for anyone that subscribes here on Twitch or is a member on YouTube, because that shows. You know, great appreciation for the work that I do, but when I see people here that have been here for such a long time, it just you know, it's fantastic. That is really motivating. Thank you so much. Green Foxtrot, also hello to you. How are you doing? Right, seatbelt's now going to auto, pitch 7.5 degrees maximum. Looks like you can maintain that now. That's fantastic. Cool. Oh, nice. So hey, I mean, again, I'm honored when I also see some real-world pilots come in. So 777 driver says he's a real-world pilot, flies the 300ER, 200LR, and the F. Nice. Do you think you're going to have the chance to fly the 777X at some time? So the 300ER is a Cadillac with Veyron power. It's my fabric. Okay, nice. Nice. Oh, you're right. Yeah, traffic. Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. That's something I missed. Yeah. So we're going to synchronize the heading bug here. Oh, is it that time as well for you? Because I was just saying that next year I'm planning to retire as well. Right, VNAV out. Let me continue. I think 3.5 is what we said. Yeah, 350. There we go. So pressing on that, thrust ref, VNAV speed. Hey, Winky. So the 757 is also a fast climber, right? I have no experience with the 757. I can only tell maybe, if you're flying that on... Oh, okay, nice. Okay, no, not retire, but move back home. Fly old planes, but happier. Nice. Yeah, 777 driver. Yeah, all the best wishes for that. Guys, if you don't know, there is a issue with the latest NVIDIA driver. People are reporting some micro stutters with it, and there is a hotfix available for the latest NVIDIA driver, which puts it then to a new driver model. But Newmark, hang on. Yeah, so let me first let me just finish that with the NVIDIA driver. I did install it here, and I think that's maybe why it's showing me 120 FPS, because then I think the GeForce overlay is wrong. Moin, James Wiggets. Really? So Twitch took your money, but it doesn't show the resub? Well, that's mean. Did you get a confirmation also from your bank or provider that where you sent the money from? Sandra, I'll give you the link. Hang on, let me just give the link to the hotfix. Hold on. So I'll post it on YouTube as well. That's a link to that hotfix. All right, 350 already up here. My God, that's so fast. Yeah, I hope it helps. I haven't tried it on Microsoft yet. So Microsoft Flight Sim, I haven't tried it there yet. I'm happy to say I don't have any issues right now here at in P3D. Cool. So guys, I'm just going to dial down the sim sounds just a tad more so that you can hear me speak a little bit better. Hey, so das Selbstlader. Is brake to vacate an option for the Neos yet? Maybe partly. if the airlines order it, that option. But I don't know. So usually Bruno, one of my moderators, he's the expert in that. He would probably know, but I don't know if it's available on the 320 Neos yet or 321 Neos. James, you're doing well. Fantastic. Peter, that's just the way it is. Yeah, they're not going to fix it now. So you know, it's one of those things which will never get fixed. Cool. So let me have a look. So 777 flight controls. Believe it or not, there is a huge amount of similarity between the 787 and the 777 fly-by-wire system. I was actually surprised to learn this. And so let's start out with the basics. So the flight control surfaces. I hope that's not too loud. All right, so the flight control surfaces. Let's start with the pitch control. So for pitch control, so to get the nose up and down, you have the two elevators. So whether I can increase this, hold on. Yeah, there we go. So we can see here, for example, back here. So these two surfaces, the smaller ones here, are actually quite large on 777. So those smaller ones are the elevators. Then you have a movable horizontal stabilizer. That means this part here, that wing, if you like, that smaller wing at the rear, that also moves up and down. And that moves up and down either with the use of the autopilot system, or if you're flying manually with those two trim switches, which you have to press simultaneously in order to the stabilizer to move. And then you have the stabilizer position indication here. So when you press nose down, it will go nose down. If you press the buttons back towards you, putting a nose up trim input, and that will then position the stabilizer accordingly. I'm not sure if you saw at the beginning, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, roll control. So let's go back outside. Roll control is provided by two flaperons. Now that sounds quite funny, but I think the name is quite fitting. Oops. The name is quite fitting because these actually do flap. They flap around quite quickly. So these little parts here, left and right side. So these are the flaperons, and there are some I think on Instagram I saw some interesting recordings from a 787 in cruise flight encountering turbulence, and you can see those flaperons going up and down very fast, and that is the gust or the turbulence suppression system at work, trying to counteract these gusts or these turbulences. Does the plane have a cabin? Yes, it does. I'm not sure about the quality. Usually P3D quality isn't that great in the cabin, but it does, yeah. Anyway, so it has flaperons. It has then, obviously, as always, ailerons at the end of the wing, so to get more leverage when they are deflected. And then you have 14 spoilers, so 7 on each side. Let's have a look at them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, it says 6 here. 6. Oh, maybe. Oh, so maybe this one is one. This one as well. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6, 7. The engine view from inside, of course, Dan. There it is. Yeah, so the thing is, well, what I said was not 100% correct regarding the trim switches and what it does, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, because somebody says they actually move the elevators as well. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, because that's part of the fly-by-wire system. But usually, conventionally, yeah, you just move the stabilizer. But here, again, it's a fly-by-wire aircraft. 777, 787 has a little bit of a different system there. So, then we have yaw control. Obviously, it's a single rudder with a partial span tab. And that's the smaller tab here. And so the smaller tab moves further than the rudder itself. That's autosave, don't worry. There we go. And so you have a very large rudder section, and that is in order to counteract any asymmetry, thrust asymmetry, in case of engine failure on takeoff, so low airspeed. So the higher the airspeed, the more effective the rudder becomes, and the less would be the required deflection. But on ground or on liftoff, on rotation, let's say, it's still fairly slow. With an engine failure, you would need, full deflection almost with the rudder to keep the aircraft flying straight. So, the two elevators and horizontal stabilizer work together to provide pitch control. The flaperons and the ailerons provide roll control, assisted by asymmetric spoilers. So the asymmetric spoiler deflection is there to counteract yaw moment. For increased lift, the flaperons move down, so the flaperons as well as the elevator have a droop function when the flaps are extended. So they will also help increase lift that way, so increase curvature and increase the lift of the wing. In normal mode, now we get to the modes in a second. Now in normal mode, the ailerons and spoilers 5 and 10 are locked out during high-speed flight. So during high speed, there's no requirement for the ailerons to be moved, because the deflection of the spoilers, so the spoiler mix being done by the flight control computers, will then make sure that the commanded roll control, roll input, either by the pilot or the autoflight system, will then be done just by deflection of those. So it's quite interesting to hear that during high speed, the ailerons are not moving for a roll. So during low speed flight, these panels augment roll control. Also, the flaperons and remaining spoilers provide sufficient roll control, and during low speed flight, these panels augment roll control. Hey, the Drehflüger, how are you? Yeah, thanks, MLG. Thanks for the infos. Cool. What else do we have? Yeah, during takeoff, the rudder becomes aerodynamically effective approximately 60 knots. Flaps and slats provide high lift for takeoff, approach, and landing. We know that. And the spoilers are used for speed brakes. We know that as well. Now we come to the interesting part. There are 3 control system modes, same as on the 787. So as you can see here right now, it says normal mode. And it has a normal mode, secondary mode. Hey, Tim, how are you doing? And a direct mode. And all the modes use the same pilot control and pilot surfaces. However, there's a difference in the way the yoke inputs or the autoflight inputs are being calculated and computed and then sent to the actuators. So let me bring out a picture to show you what I mean. So let's have a look for AirPlay. And then We'll have that on the screen. Airplane. There it is. So, hope you can see that. So, this is the normal mode. Spot is 4 and 11 hammer camera back in the case of hydraulic failure. Oh, I need to see if I can find that in the documents. Oh, today, Flugger, you completed your first solo flight. Let me give you a salute and a round of applause. Congratulations. And I was sure after that you were so hyped, right? Yeah, congratulations. Well done. GG's. Right, so we can see that either through the autopilot, we get a data transfer to the primary flight computers. And there are 3 of them. They are redundant. They enhance control features and then generate all control surface commands and send it to the ACEs, the actuator control electronics. So the way the path is, autopilot, PFC, ACEs, and the ACEs then will take the commands from the PFC and deflect all required surfaces as needed in order to meet that demand given by the autopilot system. So heading change, pitch change, yaw change, whatever. If you're flying manually and you do inputs through the yoke or the rudder pedals, it's pilot control inputs. They get to the ACEs first, but then go to the PFCs and then come back again after the computation of the required data, and then are sent to the ACEs, and again the ACEs will then deflect the required surfaces. Now, in the secondary mode, that changes. So secondary mode and direct mode, the autopilot is not usable. So how does this happen? For example, secondary mode, so is either a malfunction in a PFC, or some of the data, I didn't talk about that, so some of the data that the PFC needs to calculate the required data for the ACEs will then go into secondary mode. So for example, you get inertial data, air data, engine thrust, radial altitude, and flap slats position. All of these signals go into the PFCs to help them calculate the required data for the ACEs. So the PFCs will still be working in secondary mode, however, they have a so-called basic mode, so they have very basic computations. And usually that means that your flight envelope protection systems, which we'll get to in a minute, will also be inoperative. The third mode is the direct mode. So direct mode means that the PFCs cannot send control surface commands to the ACEs for whatever reason. So failure of all 3 PFCs, for example, or manually disconnecting the PFCs make the flight control system go into direct mode. And you can do that on the overhead panel. So normally the switch, there we go. So primary flight computers. So if you put this to disconnect, right, the system goes into direct. And the cool thing about the PMDG is that where's my sound cancel? Oh, that's interesting. How come I can't switch that off? On the 787, there's a switch here to switch off the alerts. Don't find it here. Anyways, we're going to switch that back on. Oh no. Ah, there we go. Cool. Autopilot going back on. So you saw that switches the aircraft directly into direct mode. And what happens then is, since the autopilots are not usable, all control inputs by the pilot go straight to the ACEs. So remember that when I talk about the rest of the the stuff here. So in normal mode, during flight, the 4 ACES receive pilot control inputs. Okay, I just talked about all of that. There's no other info there. So flight envelope protection in normal mode. I always want to say normal law, but no, it's normal mode here on the Boeing. So in normal mode, you have stall protection, overspeed protection, and bank angle protection. The stall protection reduces the likelihood of inadvertently exceeding the stall angle of attack by providing enhanced crew awareness of the approach to a stall or to a stalled condition. Does look good. Just getting my tea. Lovely. Lovely tea. So, the stall protection limits the speed to which the airplane can be trimmed. I'm interested to try it out here on the 777 now. And we'll demonstrate this in a minute. So the trim reference speed limit is limited by inhibiting trim in the nose-up direction when the airspeed slows to a speed where maneuvering margin is limited. So usually the yellow band would then stop the trim inputs. Yeah, top of amber band at low altitudes, and can be 10 to 20 knots lower at the top of the amber band at high altitudes. Same for the 787. In this case, so once you get below that amber band, the pilot, since he cannot trim the forces away anymore, and the nose will drop as the speed decreases, it means that he has to pull back on the yoke manually, more and more and more. And the more deflection you have to do, the stronger the input has to be. And so that will then, give him a clue that the aircraft is approaching the stall. So the critical angle of attack. Now let me try that. Oh, and yeah. So first of all, let me try explain the speed stability. So in normal mode, you see as soon as you go manual flight, you will see something here on the parameter flight display. Interesting, that's actually trying to maintain speed here. Let's trim back. I would have expected something different here. We are in normal mode. And let me just stabilize the aircraft and trim it out, so I can let go of the yoke. Right. So normally, I would have to match the fly-by-wire trim, speed indication there with the indicated airspeed. So if I do that, theoretically, the aircraft is fully trimmed, and it should not change the pitch. And I guess there's a slight inaccuracy regarding that here in PMDG, or it's because, well, actually it's very minute changes. Now it's lowering the nose a bit. There we go. So let me just show you the yoke. So I'm not touching the yoke, and you can see the aircraft is maintaining the pitch. So the idea is the fly-by-wire system will stabilize the aircraft if it's trimmed out for a certain speed, and you would not have to pull back on the yoke, for example, when you do a roll input until 30 degrees. So just doing a roll input now, the thrust is increased a bit. It may not do that perfectly, but you can see it does that quite nicely here, GG. So again, let go of the yoke. It's flying a 30-degree bank now. It's maintaining the bank. And the speed has just increased a bit, so normally the pitch would rise a bit. And now that we are in trim speed, yeah, it should maintain that. But again, I wouldn't expect it to be 100% correct, but you get the idea. Right. So let's go manual thrust here. So it's speed stable. That means when you change configuration, so change the flaps, for example, and or pull the speed brakes, which also changes or influences the lift vector, then same as the extension of flaps, that also changes the curvature of the wing and then changes the lift vector where it acts on the wing. And that means there is a difference between the center of gravity and the lift vector, and that requires a change in the stabilizer position normally. However, the fly-by-wire system will automatically trim the aircraft in the pitch with elevator deflection and stabilizer movements. The only time you have to manually trim the aircraft is when you change airspeed in the 787 and the 777. And that's why it's called speed stable. So as long as you are at the trimmed speed, there is no need to have yoke pitch inputs. Now let me switch off the auto thrust here. So now, and even thrust changes. So even thrust changes will not require you to trim the aircraft. However, as the aircraft slows, you can see I'm putting in nose up trim input to match the speed so that I can let go of the yoke. And now that the speed drops below the trim speed, I have to adjust the trim again manually to keep the airplane in level flight without having to pull back on the yoke. Okay, MLG, yeah, thanks. I guess maybe there's a slight difference in the 777 compared to the 787. Yeah, thanks for the input. Appreciate it. Do you recommend flying it? No, not if you don't have it already, then no. So again, I'm trimming the aircraft, right? I can let go of the yoke. It doesn't lower the nose because we are in trim speed. As it gets below that trim speed, the nose will drop, the aircraft will start to descend. ETOPS, it only shows up in the 777 PMDG here. I think that's automatic. I would have to ask Bruno for that. Now we're getting into the yellow area, and you can see now I'm putting back, I'm trimming the aircraft back, but it doesn't trim anymore. There's no trim movement anymore in the stab trim. So now, in order to maintain level flight, I have to pull back. I have to continuously pull back on the yoke. Now it tells me airspeed low because we're at the yellow area there. And I can't trim anymore. It just doesn't move anymore, right? So I have to pull back more and more. And in the real aircraft, the forces would be quite heavy now. All right, so this is how it tells you, hey, there's something wrong. All right. You're getting very low. You hear the airspeed sounds are getting low as well. And so that is an awareness system for you in order to not get the aircraft to the critical angle of attack, which will come up very shortly here. So we'll get the stick, the stall warnings in a minute. Once we have a stall, we'll unload, so pitch down. Here's now the buffeting. Interesting. So that will be the first. There we go. And we have a stick shaker. So we're going to unload. You can see that unloading helps already. Pitch down. I'm going to add thrust now. And I'm going to wait with the recovery. If I pull back now, the G-forces, so the load on the wings, will cause a secondary stall. So you've got to make sure that you keep outside. Don't pull back too much. It does need, you can see it requires a lot of altitude. So let's go full thrust here. Now I have to trim again. We're in the trim area, so I have to trim back. And it's a smooth recovery. but we are losing a lot of altitude at this height. So there we go. Again, I'm going to try to trim out the aircraft for the trimmed speed. And now actually, if the trimmed speed is higher than the actual, the aircraft should lower the nose. Yeah, it does so now. And it should stabilize. So once it reaches that trimmed speed, it should then stabilize and actually level off. And it does so. I'm not pulling back. You can see it's getting past that now. It should raise the nose. It does so. Look at that. There we go. You can see that's the fly-by-wire system now. Again, oh, that's the autosave load. And so it does that quite nicely. It doesn't do it 100% correct, but again, it's one of those things where I wonder how many people actually tried this in PMDG. And my take would be only, if anything, real-world pilots would do that, and not even they. Yeah. Well, the autopilot is off. So the autopilot. So this shows up when the autopilot is off. Yeah. Yeah. So, what happens now in the overspeed regime? So, it's the opposite way in the overspeed area. So when we get into the overspeed area, I cannot trim down anymore. So now I'm trimming for the speed. Again, I'm trying to maintain altitude. I'm trimming for the speed. So I should not have to make any inputs into the yoke. And there we go. Continues to go towards the high speed area. And again, trimming. So I hope you can see that all. It says fly-by-wire, FBW. So trimming forward. So we're going to get this aircraft into... I have a feeling there's a slight lag here in the sim. So there we go. Now getting into the high-speed area. Now, I'm trying to trim. And it should stop any moment now. And there we go. I can't trim further than this. So I'm pushing the trim switch forward. It doesn't allow me to trim. So in this case, to stay at overspeed, I have to push the yoke forward further and further. Otherwise, the aircraft will pitch up to get out of that high-speed area. There we go. And again, we have the high-speed buffet. Very nice. Nice simulator here on P3D. I like it. So let's get out of the high-speed area. And put the thrust levers back on. Autopilot back on. And we're going to climb back to 35,000 feet. Oh, okay, so let me try that as well. So force. Let me just switch off the auto thrust. So I'm just going to disconnect the auto thrust here. All right. And we're going to try to see what happens when I reduce the speed towards the low speed area. So there's also a thrust protection mode where the auto thrust will automatically kick in, just like in the Airbus with toga lock. So let me just pull back the thrust levers. So again, I have to trim the aircraft back. So nose up trim. And actually, I'm going to climb a bit to get quicker into that low speed area. Yeah, so okay, so now I have some time regarding P3D. The problem with P3D is that if you don't own it already, to get your sim looking somewhere nice with a good aircraft add-on, so some nice scenery add-ons as well regarding airports, you're going to have to spend anywhere between 500 to 1,000 euros. And the question really is, And yes, the visuals are not as good as in Microsoft Flight Sim, obviously. So, hence, my answer when I get asked, is P3D still worth it? At the moment, I would say no, because of the high costs and the lineup of aircraft coming out in X-Plane and Microsoft. So again, we're expecting 777 in Microsoft. 777 in Microsoft, and we're expecting 777 and 787 in X-Plane as well. So, right, interesting. It should, yeah. I'm not sure. The 787 does it, so I'm not sure. And JPM, how are you doing? So I can't trim anymore. I have to pull back now. So the auto thrust does not kick in here, it seems. Was that added only later in the 787? Right, it doesn't do it. It does, okay. Yeah, so maybe because it's here still P3D, so here I can definitely say it's not, it doesn't do it. Right, let me just unload here quickly, full power. Now normally you would not add full power just so soon. You would unload, pitch down, and then you would slowly increase the thrust. Why? Because there's a pitch up when you add thrust, which will then get you back into a secondary stall. So there we go. So just gonna get out of the stall here, and you can see the potential maneuver limit as you pull up comes up, because that load on the wing, the G load on the wings, increases the critical angle of attack. Cool. Autopilot VNAV. And we'll go back to our routing. Nice. Okay, so that's an interesting demonstration, right? Regarding the stall protection and the overspeed protection. So that's 2 of the 3 flight envelope protections here on the 777. The third protection, i.e. the bank angle protection. So what is it there for? The bank angle protection reduces the likelihood of exceeding the bank angle boundary due to external disturbances, system failures, or inappropriate pilot action. So normally it will be inappropriate pilot action. Bank angle protection provides roll control wheel inputs when airplane bank angle exceeds the bank angle protection boundary of approximately 35 degrees. If the boundary is exceeded, the control wheel force rolls the airplane back within 30-degree bank. Hey DH, how you doing? And we've tried that in the simulator, on the 787 simulator, and it's quite fascinating, yeah. So you go above 35-degree bank, the system, the bank angle protection system will input a roll input. So let me just switch off the autopilot again. So I'm going to go beyond 35 degrees. And there we go, amber bank. And you can see the autopilot, if I let go, it goes back to within 30 degrees. But usually there's quite a moment going on. That puts the bank maybe at 20 degrees. So if I put that back to the left. ZJ, it's in P3D. This is not Microsoft Flight Sim. There we go. So we got 45 degrees. And now I have to actively put in a lot of. Look at that. The system forces actually bring the aircraft back to 30-degree bank. Now, normally, I don't have to say that this is P3D because people will notice it immediately because of the graphics. No, this has been out on P3D for a very long time. Very long time. Good, we got everything stable again. Fantastic. It's 11 years old by now. GG's. Cool. So that was a nice demonstration of all the flight envelope protections. So stall protection, overspeed protection, bank angle protection. Now, we talked about the secondary mode, and let's have a look if the failures. I don't know how many failures there are in here. There's a lot. So aircraft failures, automatic flight, programmed. No, so that's not what I want. How about flight controls? Flight controls programmed. Okay, so you can only switch them directly to secondary. Okay, so let's say we have some sort of failure that forces the aircraft into secondary mode. So it should kick out the autopilot. Auto thrust can still maintain active, so it doesn't need. It doesn't mean the auto thrust will kick out every time. Is it short and long? So short for short range flight, long for long range flight. So gonna active, yes, execute. So as expected, we have now secondary mode. Okay, and yeah, autopilot is off, and now there should be no longer, for example, the bank angle protection active. It tells you, there we go, it tells you you're at high bank angle, but it doesn't put the aircraft back. Like go through, you see? It does not put the aircraft back within 30-degree bank. So that's one of the protections that are lost in the secondary mode. So autopilot is in op, auto speed brakes is in op, envelope protection is in op, gust suppression is in op, thrust asymmetry compensation is in op, and yaw damping may be degraded or inoperative. I don't know. I don't see any aces. Oh, hang on. Oh, you're right. No, don't disregard. So which aces shall I? Which shall I fail then? 2 aces. Okay, so let's fail this one. So you are correct, as I would expect. You are correct. If you only have 1 ace failed, then there is no. It shows you right ace failed. There's that's the actuator control electronics. I think that's what they call it. Hang on. Is it? So all these abbreviations, but they are called electronics, right? Hold on. But yeah, actuator control, just like I showed on that chart earlier on. They are there to then take the signals from the primary flight computers or the inputs by the pilot to then deflect the required control surfaces. And that's what they're there for. Right, let's fail the center one as well. Oh, that's interesting. So here, failing. So electronics is correct. Fantastic. So again, failing 2 aces from the 3 still doesn't put the aircraft in secondary mode. So then let me try both the left and so left 1 and left 2. So left 1 and left 2 are now failed. Ah, you see that? So PMDG seems to have that programmed, yeah. So now we have the aircraft in secondary mode. And you can see there are also a couple of failed systems with that. So we have the left flaperon, the right aileron inoperative. You have the right elevator inoperative, and you have quite a lot of spoilers inoperative. Checklist-wise, so if you have several boxed messages, so the boxed messages here means that there's a checklist available. If there's no box available, so no rectangle there, it's just a message. Yeah, Nanook had a good one. So the pilot then need to go through the messages and have to have a look at what's what's the sensible checklist to do first. Now in this one, obviously it is the flight control mode. So we'll take this one. And so flight control mode. Condition, the flight control system is in secondary mode. Yeah, we know that. Now, primary flight control computers. Disconnect switch, disconnect, then auto. Now that's there in order to restart the systems. So now that we've done that, the system has sensed that we've done the reconnect or the reset. So flight control mode measures blanks, yes or no? No, it's still there. Oops. No. It says avoid abrupt control inputs. Roger that. The airplane response is changed by simplified elevator feel and rudder ratio systems. Now, next will be ground proximity flap override switch, because that's for the procedure later for the landing. We're not going to do that because we will fix that ace or those aces again. But if we do that, it's sensed. So it will tick that, and then it senses that the ground flap override switch is an override. Then we have note inoperative items, autopilot envelope protection functions all noted. Checked is complete. So if I go now and press checklist again, it will get me to the next checklist that we need to work on. So spoilers, condition, one or more spoiler pairs have failed. Note, roll rate may be reduced in flight. Speed brakes effectiveness may be reduced in flight and during landing. Okay, it's just some infos for us, and that's checklist complete as well. So that's how you would go through the checklists, and yeah, for landing procedures, you would have to have a look at what we need to do. Anyways, I am going to go ahead and reset the failures. So there's one, there's two, and there's three. So everything's fixed again. Aircraft is in normal mode. Autopilot back on. LNAV, VNAV path. All fine. Hey, 777 driver. Yeah, take care. Thanks for hopping in. Thanks for the inputs. Much appreciated. Yeah, and then if all four aces fail, you should have roll control, spoilers 4 and 11, pitch. Okay. Bastille cable. All right, thanks for the... Yeah, I'm going to demonstrate that now because we get overloaded. Yeah, so really in principle what you have to understand is that in secondary mode, yeah, a couple of systems will not work anymore, especially the flight envelope protection system. So no overspeed, no stall protection, and no bank angle protection as well. And the third mode would then be the direct mode. So in direct mode, again, the inputs from the pilot, because the autopilot will be inoperative as well. So the inputs from the pilot will go straight to the aces. And same thing, protection modes are still inoperative. Yeah, the aircraft will feel different to when you have normal mode, obviously. But I've done a lot of landings now in the sim with direct mode, and you just have to be, aware of the sensitivities of the system, and the inputs still. If it's if you do controlled steady inputs, then there's absolutely no problem. Oh, look at that view, beautiful. There's no problem with flying in the direct mode. Flying Wolf, much appreciated. Thank you. Flap override back to normal. Cool. Yeah, so another thing, since the flight, let me try one more thing though. Since the flight envelope protection is not working anymore, that means that we have to trim the aircraft for thrust changes as well. So the aircraft is perfectly trimmed right? And then just let me take up the thrust. Yeah, I have a feeling right now it's just lowering the nose because we are losing airspeed. So if I add thrust, it should pitch up fairly quickly. Yeah, I think that's not modeled correctly because that will be a lot faster in response. Yeah, that's the autosave. There we go. What? Why? Hang on. Oh, the aces failed. Disregard. There we go. Let's get back. Auto thrust is back on. Let's go back to auto thrust on. There we go. Speed. Cool. Just for info, in case anybody's interested, this aircraft does have what's called TAC, so thrust asymmetry compensation, and that means it reduces uncommanded flight path changes associated with an engine failure. So the TAC monitors engine data to determine the thrust level from each engine. If the thrust level on one engine differs by 10% or more from the other engine, the TAC automatically adds rudder to minimize yaw. So before liftoff...
Hello, Black
Hey,
Box.
Reynolds. How are you doing? So before liftoff, the TAC does not compensate completely for the yaw. And that is on purpose, so that the pilot still has to input, use some rudder input to maintain directional control. And that will then give him an idea and some feedback which engine has failed. So pilots rely on those cues quite strongly. And so once the aircraft is airborne, then the TAC does the full yaw compensation. The 777 also has a gust suppression system, which reduces the effect of lateral gust and improves lateral ride quality throughout a combination of yaw and roll commands. Operation does not result in either rudder pedal or control wheel movement. So the gust suppression happens in the background, and there's no feedback in the controls. Now, what this aircraft doesn't have is a gust suppression regarding wind gusts from the side. And the 787 has that because it has... Actually, hang on. There are sensors here. So static port sensors. Sportwagen. Hey, hiding. So there are sensors. I can't read that, but those would be static ports that sense the pressure difference between the left and the right side of the rudder. And that again would have help with the compensation. Oh, those are for the... Oh, okay, so in 777, those are the gusts as well. Nice, thank you. Okay, so disregard. Those are also used for the gust suppression. Fantastic. Fluidity, thanks for the tip. I have updated, I think, 2 days ago. Yeah, through the Xbox. Yeah. And you're saying that the servers have an issue again. It's a lot of disconnect red boxes. Okay. Well, we'll see. Brennelt, in case you are wondering... Oh, hang on. Oh, you know what, Brennelt? Brennelt, I had that also 2 days ago. And it happened for about 10 minutes. And after 10 to 15 minutes, I was able to log in again. Brennelt, I had exactly the same thing. But yeah, it worked out automatically for me. Yeah, I think the server's then having a fit from Microsoft. Pizza Place, hello to you. Pizza, now I'm hungry. Just in case you don't know, I'm fasting, so day 6 for the fast. Oh yeah, somebody was asking me, sorry, that's okay, my brain is not working 100%. Someone's asked me, you know, what are you fasting for? Is it religious reasons, or is it you know, health benefits? And for me, it's just health benefits. It has absolutely zero religious background, so it's just for yeah, cleansing of the body, and that's why I do it. You will serve me. No, pizza tomorrow, mate. Oh, well, not tomorrow, but maybe you know, in 2 or 3 days. It would be great. Oh, the thing is, though, what's so nasty is when you are fasting, you would then notice how much advertisement there is for food if you're watching television. Unbelievable. So much advertisement for food. Man, it's terrible. Cheat day. No, the problem is in fasting you can't have cheat days. Because if you tell your body, so if you're fasting, so your body is in a ketogenic digestion phase where it burns fat in the liver, or changes, it doesn't burn, it uses fat from the liver or fat in the body and changes that in the liver to ketogene. And the ketogene is then used in the cells for energy. A lot of ads for alcohol, probably, yeah. And so if you start to take in carbohydrates, that signals your brain, there is food, no more need to fast. And then it could happen that you're getting out of the ketogenic digestion, which then throws over everything that you've achieved up to that point. Because it does take 2 or 3 days to get into that ketogene digestion, depending on your metabolism. And that's quite painful. Well, painful in the sense that you can feel, very kind of powerless. You feel hungry sometimes. You feel, non-energetic. And I usually get headaches day 2. This time again, day 2 in the afternoon, headache. And that's for me because of the fact that I drink a lot of coffee, and that's just the coffee. Or I was just about to say nicotine, but that's wrong. My God, you see, that's the thing. So your brain, since your brain is only running off these ketogenes, it's missing carbohydrates, so sugars. You just lose that complete power from your brain. No, so juice is the same thing. So juices have carbohydrates. Caffeine, that's the word. Caffeine. So if you drink juice, you input, again, carbohydrates into your body, and that, again, can mess up the whole fasting. No, well, no. No, Mark. You don't eat anything. So the only thing you take in is, the way I do it, I do a complete fast, meaning you only have water. And I have water with a bit of ginger. So ginger doesn't have carbohydrates. Ginger increases the metabolism. So that's also good for the fat, the fat change to the ketogene. And so it's just water, tea, but no fruit teas. So just herbal teas. And that's it. And that's all I have. Oh, it's interesting. In Windows 11, you can log in. Okay, that's interesting. That's weird today. Anyways, we are getting close to the top of the descent. Let's get the latest weather. So, currently, we have information Mike 080 at 3, landing runway is 28 right. We have a altimeter setting of 3025. So I'm going to pre-dial that here. You can see that 3025. We'll have the landing performance calculated in a second, and so let's do that now. So we're going to go back to menu, performance, and then we'll have the show landing. Airport is San Francisco, although I could take the copy from FMC. So we've got San Francisco to it right. Condition is dry because there is no rain, nothing. 12 degrees, so it's dry. Show keyboard. The wind is 080 at 3. Temperature 12 and 30.25 on the altimeter. A flap. I would say let's try flap 25 landing, all right? Because tailwind isn't that bad, and we have a long runway. Air conditioning auto, anti-ice off. There we go, let's count that out. Oh, Mark, you were without fault. Well, I have to admit, so I think Mark is fishing for compliments here. So I have to say Mark did really well on the shared flight, yeah. So, VREF is 155. Limiting weight is landing display. Hang on, where's landing? Oh, hang on. Show this. This. I was just wondering why I'm missing some of these points. So dry. Landing weight. Copy FMC data. Right. So landing weight is round about. So expecting to land with 7.7, so 2 tons less than now, so 164.8. So let's calculate 165.5, shall we? So 1655. 1655. Direct mode landing. Actually, I'll do that next time, to be honest. Now, let's do auto brake 3. There is non-normal, complete. Show dispatch. I'm silly. Right, again. Try. I was meant to press, reverse and no credit. And then we'll calculate. That's what I wanted to. Right, so landing data says, with these conditions, of these entries, we need, we have an approach speed of 142. And required is about 6,600 feet. And we have available 11,000. So there is a lot more runway available than we need. And hence, yeah, that's, I think I'll go with auto brake 3. And so let's go to San Francisco. The airport chart, let's zoom in a bit. So 28 right, and we'll vacate. I think we'll prefer the high speed Tango. So we'll vacate Tango, hold short, run because hold short here. Yeah, I mean, you can, if I wanted to, I can change the auto brake setting, right? I can go and use auto brake. Where's landing? Show landing. And I could use auto brakes 2, for example. Calculate. And that means 7,000, for example, right? And I can judge your, your distance to your exit, all right? And use the appropriate auto brake. But I think 3 will be good for this one here. Good. So for the arrival, we have to check a couple of things here in the FMS. Oh, we are reaching the top descent. So let's pretend we get told to descend via the Bodega 3. What does that mean? We have a look at the Bodega arrival chart, and the lowest end altitude is 11,000. Now here in the Boeing aircraft, you are allowed to use VNAV path and dial in the last altitude to be maintained on the arrival routing. But that's only for VNAV path or VNAV speed. As soon as you get out of VNAV path or VNAV speed, you have to dial in the next restricted altitude. That's the important difference. Good, so we're going to check the routing and the limitations here real quickly. So we've got Malbec 290 above, correct. Then we have Johnny at 280, 240, 280 knots, correct. Bigelow at 280 knots, between 230 and 190, correct. Lowsit 280 knots, 16,000 below, correct. Bodega 13,000 below. And there it already has 250 on the speed. Interesting. Okay. And then we got Cork at 250 knots, 11,000 at. And then Briggs, the last one, 11,000 at. From there, we would go with the approach. So, or the transition, I should say. Let's have a look. Briggs. I guess you would get radar vectors in this case. Yeah, very likely we get radar vectors. And then vector, yeah, there we go, vectors to Archie. So we'll get some simulated radar vectors on that. Now, so we're going to cross right over the airport, and then we'll get radar vectors to that point 7,000 above at Archie. So let's check those values, 7,000 and 6,000 down to Silet, Gur at 5,000 until Gur, then 4,000 until Dunbar, 3,000 until Chepin, and then we have 1,800 to Axmal, and Axmal is the final approach point where we then go into a 3-degree profile down to the minimums, Delta aircraft, LNAV VNAV we'll use. We can't do LPV here, so we use LNAV VNAV 650. So that's one more thing I need to set here. Barrow 650. Barrow 650 set. And again, we are doing a RNAV GPS Zulu approach. What are requirements? So we have an uncompensated VNAV Barrow system here. LNAV VNAV not authorized below 3 degrees. That's a very low, very high limit. So 3 degrees. So if it goes below that, we have to use the LNAV limit. The PMDG, now I don't know if it uses the EAN mode, if it's capable of that, but we'll find out. If not, which will simply do VNAV, LNAV. But there's a slight difference procedure for that. So I don't think it can do the sort of integrated approach navigation approach. Bruno would know, but I think I know. Cool, so we've done the preparations. Let's have a quick look at the procedure itself. So missed approach, we'll go straight ahead to VICU at 3,200. 5,000 to sector. We have selected orbit 3. The fuel right now is 7.7 arrival fuel. Required is 5.9. So we have 1.8 tons more than required, which is, if I take the 77 fuel flow, is about 19 minutes. It doesn't. Voyager, do you know? Does it? It doesn't have IAM. Okay. Good. So we're already at 250 knots and 290 above at Malbec, and now we just monitor the correct function of the autopilot system. And in the meantime, we can already go through the rest of the items. So now we'll tell the first officer that we want to do the descent items, flaps 25. And auto brake 3. So here we set the auto brake. It then go into the MCD FMS. Select the speed here, and set his minimum or the minimums on his side as well, and the pre-select the altimeter. Oh, autosave. I thought, hang on, Voyager. I thought that's just because of the radius to fix function, but I guess not. Okay. So you set the 650 as well, and then we'll read the descent checklist. So again, we press the checklist button. It brings out automatically the descent checklist. So recall. Let's do that. Recall is checked. Notes, there are no notes. Actually, there are notes. Why are the notes? Oh, that's because of the disregard. So notes checked. Auto brake is 3. Landing data VREF 139. Minimums Barrow 650. Approach briefing completed. And that's the descent checklist complete. And here, I think we can see point raise back here. Quite a bright scenery today. Yeah, but that is not North California yet, is it? That is still standard P3D, I would imagine. Although I'm not sure. Yeah, Voyager. So, I mean, preparation-wise, there's not much difference. It's just a procedure-wise when we are on the final approach. So when we are going towards axle, so the final approach point, what we'll do is we're going to press the approach button. And if it says FAC glide path here in white, so armed, then we know that it actually has it. If it doesn't do it, then we'll have to use LNAV VNAV path function, meaning that we're going to have to dial down the altitude to our minimums, 650, and then we'll start the final approach with LNAV VNAV mode. And once we are about 300 to 40 feet below the missed approach altitude, we can then dial up the altitude selector here on the FCU to the missed approach altitude. Yeah, and then once we reach minimums, we go flight directors off, bird on. Cool. All right, managing everything very nicely. So Johnny between 240 to 80, everything's looking very good. No complaints. One word about shared cockpit. So Mark and me did two flights in the TOLUS 320 Neo a couple of days ago, and it was working. So Shared Flight is a new app for X-Plane, which is in the latter stages of its development phase, so it should be published sometime in the next couple of weeks. There you have the option to do shared flights with your buddy. And it's a very neat system and working extremely reliable now. So we actually had, did we have any issues? I don't think so. And the cool thing is that when you then go through, multi-crew concepts, that's actually so much different than flying on your own. So communication is a big part. Yeah, Mark, right? Yeah, I couldn't recall any issues. And it's also very enjoyable because, if you mess up something, well, the other one will know, right? And it's, you always have something to laugh about. Well, Crytek, it clearly says P3D version 5.4 in the title, so hopefully nobody gets. I can't select. There's no selection on OBS or on YouTube regarding P3D. So there's a selection on Twitch for P3D, but not on YouTube. And since I'll dual stream, yeah, I have to put in Microsoft Flight Sim. And so for that, I'm sorry, but that's all I can do. Beautiful plane. Nice. So still idle descent and right on vertical path. Next limit, big low between 230 and 190. Yeah, Flying Wolf, I would love to do a shared flight in the 777 with Josh, developer of the Fearless 747, and with Sim Caesar if he has time. So definitely, it would be great for across the pond. Yeah, it would be great. But first of all, I want to do a longer test ride. Because remember, Mark, when we did a flight with Ted Barker to Mallorca, yeah, you got completely desynced and it was horrible for you. So yeah, we have to make sure first that it's working correctly now. So we didn't record that one, Nanook. We did record 2 prior flights. But a cool thing is, so here's another cool feature. So in the tow list, you can actually select failures, correct? And so I gave Mark a failure on the flight when he was pilot flying. So you can select, and the other person doesn't see it. So you can select a failure, and I failed the nose gear. And then you just select it. You don't activate it, you just select it, and then there's a key bind. For me it was Z. And then you then press your key, Z, it activates a failure for both parties, but the other person doesn't know. So we put, flaps 2, and then, gear down, and then, beep, beep. Yeah, we had the warning come up, right, manually, and landing gear, disagree. And yeah, it's great fun, because that way you can kind of catch out the other, your buddy. Well, yeah, expected, but the failure itself, so the failure type wasn't expected, right? Right, let's switch to Altimeter 3025 is checked. I'm just checking the latest update here. 3025, yeah, still valid. So we can now do the next checklist, which is the approach checklist. And here it says altimeters 3025 set. And that's the approach checklist complete. Next is the landing checklist. Yeah, it's now having a bit of issue maintaining the speed, but we're slightly below the path, so let me just see if that fixes itself. Right, time to landing, about 20 minutes, so let's switch on the seatbelt signs here. So, right hand main landing gear. Thanks for joining today. Thanks for all the inputs. Take care. Bye-bye. And there's a bit of speed brakes here to get the speed down, because there's a speed limit of 250. Oh, no, it's still 280 actually. Oh, hang on, is it Lozit? Yeah, Lozit. Dean 280, 280. Yeah, Cork is 250. There we go. Cork is 250. So we're just about to cross Point Race to the right, and I hope that we have a bit of view of the of San Francisco. It would be great to see the Golden Gate. but I fear not. Good, still on path, 250 knots, looking very good. Now, I think it's right there. So unfortunately, it's just a cloud layer. That's really mean, but that is just the way it is. I just have to adjust the brightness. I'm just seeing that brightness is a bit much, isn't it? So let's have a look at camera, onboard brightness. So let me just bring that down a bit. There we go. And the saturation down a bit as well. Yeah, I can see the Oakland Bridge, but right below... I don't know, so maybe we're going to catch a glimpse right now. Yeah, there it is. There's part of the... Golden Gate, there it is. Yeah. A glimpse at least. There's Alcatraz. Beautiful. Alrighty. Now we are coming up to the airport, and the airport is right below us. Now this is the visual by the bay. Would be left hand downwind, and then you would be cleared for visual approach. Only of course in low traffic situations, right? So 11,000 to cross, and then we'll go track 1 4. 140, there it is. Well, we're almost there, yeah. So we're just gonna get radar vectors now. And I tell you what, well, let's go via eddy in this case. So change approach via eddy. So let's have a look here. We'll go with so this, and eddy, execute. And so bricks, then it's, well, I can't do that. So vectors and then eddy. Put that there, right? Bricks, eddy. So we're going to get turn right, heading 145 degrees, and descend 6,000. Now we're going to use flight level change. That opens the speed window, and we'll try to do a fast descent. So eddy is at 6,000 there, And we should see that green banana pop up, hopefully. If not, we'll use some speed brakes. Yeah, speed brakes out. And there we go. That's the banana I was talking about. So you can use that quite nicely. Just adjust the, the level of speed brakes accordingly. So that way you can time that descent. I'm using Orbix, California, North California. And the airport is from I've got it here. It's from Flightbeam. So Flightbeam Studios, San Francisco version 2. And the rest is Orbix, North California. But not True Earth. Because True Earth is just too much data. It's like, I don't know how many gigabytes. It's just too much for me. Yeah, that level of speed brake seems good. Yeah, Flying Wolf, I think they've given up on P3D, right? Like many add-on makers, so... Okay, let's come back on the speed now a bit. Help for the turn, 230 knots. Bim bom, cabin ready. Is checked. 2,000 feet to go. Let's get ready for the approach here. Now we would get the question, actually we get the clearance. When able, direct to SITB. Cleared for the ANAF Zulu 28 right. And so I'm going to go and select SITB in here, 4,000 above. Now that's 3,000 feet to lose, so we're a bit high for that still. So I'm going to wait until we pass about 6.5. Yeah, 6.5, and then we'll execute. There it is, speed brakes come in. And then we have to put LNAV as well, so LNAV it is. Aircraft will now turn to the right, left. So we're going to be via SITB, according to profile for the ANAF to it right. And let's go flaps 1, speed is checked, flaps 1. Going to help with the turn radius here. And we're going to descend 4,000. VNAV. So VNAV path. Open the window again. Again, every time you press VNAV path and you have an open speed window, that window closes. Because the system assumes that when you press VNAV, that it includes the speed function. So the speed from the FMS. It's just a Boeing kind of logic. It's just the way it is. But you get used to it. So at the beginning, it catches you out all the time. So the nasty thing is if you have manually selected 200 knots, and then you press VNAV, and the VNAV function still has 250 knots as a speed limit, or commanded speed, it will just add thrust like crazy and try to establish that. There's a possibility that we're going to get a saving lag on the approach. So FSUIPC, the autosave function. Okay, all right, need to add some lights here as well. Let me add already the turn of lights. The rest is all performed. Let's go flaps 5. Speed is checked. Flaps 5. I shouldn't say speed checked because we don't say speed checked in the Boeing. We just say the command is flaps 5. The pilot monitoring puts the flap lever to 5 and then waits until you can see that magenta 5 indication there, and then he calls out flight 5. So now 3 miles. I'm gonna wait, see if that aircraft. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're lucky. Here's the auto save. So now we're 10 minutes safe. Perfect. That's good for landing. So I'm going to down in 3,000 now. Actually, we're on VNAV path, so I can put in, let's put in 1,800. 1,800 it is. And that's the final descent altitude out of Axmal. Perfect. Very, very happy with that. So going over the bay. There's the airport in the background. Flaps 15. Flaps 15. Again, just adding some drag so that the aircraft is able to descend on profile much better. You can see as well, as we talked about, the flaperons, they droop as well with the flaps. The ailerons are also drooping. You can see that here. Very nicely simulated again by PMDG. Well done. The mouse, it's not a mouse, it's a controller. So it's like a game console controller. I use that for the for panning around. Got some buttons matched for the different viewpoints. All right, so whatever I press here gives me a nice change in that. Hang on, what's the mouse now? Oh, hang on, next to the... Oh, this one here. That's the control pad. So it's a touch screen, a little touch pad. So that is to move your pointer. So for the ejectors, for example, here, that magenta pointer, you can manipulate that with in the real aircraft, that is, not here. With that control there. Hang on. Oh, the mouse. It's a Logitech MX Master, not Monster Master. MX Master. Yeah, Bluetooth mouse. Nicely turning onto final. It's doing that very well. Now, I'm going to try the approach mode. So approach mode has lock. That's not correct, though. Lock light slope disregard. So we're going to disregard that. And like we mentioned, I'm going to fly this in LNAV, VNAV. So here comes gear down.
25.
No, sometimes I'm a bit lost. No worries. Cool. Flaps. Next setting here is 20. Flaps 20. So the important thing is we have to reach 1,800 feet by that, but we will. So I'm going to dial in the minimums now, 650. And if you're in auto mode here, it will take your minimum setting, so the bar row 650 as a minimum there. That's quite neat. No, I'm not in the beta testing, no. I don't think I want to be in there, to be honest. But I may have some news on a different aircraft. Here comes Snaps 25 for the final setting. We will arm the speed brakes. Speed brakes armed. So just wait for the final setting. Speed +5. There's no wind, so we only add 5 knots. So 144 it is. Final approach speed. Miles. At least I have the 777 here, right? You don't in Microsoft. Just saying. Anyways, let's do the checklist. So we got landing checklist complete. Checklist complete. Let's do some manual flying here. So I'm going to have the thrust levers ready. Disconnect the auto thrust once, twice. Autopilot off once, twice. So we're in trim. And again, that's just like in the real aircraft. When you're fully established, on speed, on configuration, on final, you take out the autopilot. You don't have to do anything really. The aircraft is completely trimmed. Maybe some slight adjustments, but apart from that,
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh, hang on, what's the speed doing?
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Oh, I think that's because
sink.
yeah, we messed about with the flight control computers and so on. All right, let's continue. Now, normally our command flight director's off.
500.
Got a bit high there. Just messed about a bit there with the... So 1,000 feet per minute, maximum rate of descent. 1 red, 3 white. We're good on that. So coming back on path. Yep, that's a bit much on descent rate.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
So spoilers, normal, reverse is green. I don't have much reverse in that, okay. And yeah. I tell you what though, that's so interesting. You know what I did? You probably saw that on the manual brakes. You probably saw that on the camera. I pulled back on the yoke and I just held it. Because that way it just did a slow derotation, so a slow rotation to slow down the descent rate. So I don't do pull hold. So it's just a pull back, hold the yoke, see what the aircraft does because it has a pitch command, so a certain degree per second pitch command. And that's just how you land a 787 as well. You don't do the 737 brake hold, so brake neutral. Here in the 777 and the 787, since it's a fly-by-wire aircraft, you just pull back a little bit on the yoke, see what the aircraft does, just slowly allow the nose to raise, and it's a very continuous, slow increase in pitch. And that way, you can kind of adjust that as you descend towards the runway, and that's why I personally think you can grease these aircraft a lot more, a lot easier than the aircraft. Like, let's do the after landing procedure here. Clear to cross. Voyager, yeah, I'm planning to stream on Tuesday again. So speed brakes stow. Speed brakes are stowed. I'm going to switch off terrain and traffic. And the first officer does APU start. Oh, careful. Oversteer. And let me find a good parking spot where we have... let's do a 5. Follow me. Yes. I don't know if that's where Delta normally parks. I don't care. Just so that I get some help. So then we got landing lights off, strobe lights off, taxi light goes on, auto brakes off, flaps retracted, TCAS go to transponder, and then weather radar terrain goes off as well on both sides. Don't know why it still has that range ring there. It shouldn't really. Maybe that's oh, here it is. Hey, the bigger was mucho, señor. Have you been cycling lately? Got some puddles on the ground there. Nice. In real life, I'm flying to Detroit next. Oh, that's a good. I love Concorde. I know. I'm so sorry. The problem is this: the Concorde. You need to practice that. I need to practice that. You know, off stream once or twice to get back into the flows. And yeah, I think I have to go back to the Concorde again at some time because it's a nice add-on. But yeah, I can't promise you anything when you can help. Appreciate the help, but yeah, I need to practice that. I think I've been fasting for the last 6 days, so I've done some hiking and I've done some weight training, but I've not been able to go cycling. Now, all in all, you can say what you like, but P3D isn't as bad as people always make it out to be. Especially, you know, if you still have lots of good aircraft like FS Labs, yeah, PMDG series. So by all means, you know. Well, Athabiko, I don't do fasting for weight loss. I do fasting for cleansing. Because it is proven that fasting, if you get into the oh, what's it called again? That name, the autophagy phase. That's a phase where your cells start to rebuild, re-clean, or clean out all of the poisonous stuff, and yeah, and repair damaged cells and so on. Well, the quality wings, to be honest, I'm quite happy with the Horizon mod now. I think both are now pretty much the same level. Maybe the quality wings just a tad better still, but I'm happy with the Horizon mod. And so just for these scenery looks, I'd rather go with yeah, with the Horizon. Look at those puddles on the ground. They look really neat. Very nice. Reynolds, yeah, it is a huge aircraft. I agree. It really is. I mean, look at the wingspan. I mean, this is not the largest one, right? This is the 200, so... the 200 LR, not the ER, so LR and... I'm applying to come to Toronto anytime soon. Not this month, no. Maybe next month. No. So Julian, no. That I don't think so. So Julian asked if the Horizon is as good hand flying as the quality wings. No. The way the flight control system works on Microsoft Flight Sim in the Horizon mod isn't correct. No. So definitely the quality wings is better. because it's similar to the PMDG where, again, you you come into the flare, for example, you just pull back and hold the yoke and see what the aircraft does. If it's rotating too quickly nose up, then you just let go a little bit. If it's rotating not enough, then you pull back some more and hold again. The same for takeoff, right? So takeoff, you just pull back, and it's muscle memory because it's always the same kind of pullback. Doesn't matter what airspeed you're rotating at. The fly-by-wire system commands a certain pitch up rate. So you just pull back, hold the yoke, and the aircraft will rotate. And if the rotation rate is fine, you just leave the yoke as it is. If it needs a little bit more rotation, pull back a bit more. If it needs less, just relax a little bit. Florian, it depends. How much do you fly the FS Labs, Florian? Hey, Nico. Nico asks, recently actually found you are now 77. Yes. Haven't been there for long. I was going to ask what going bug speed on the coin. It has just jumped from the bug speeds on a 787. I've just jumped from okay. What do you mean what's going on with the bug speeds? You have to do the same preparations, and then you have to select the approach speed manually again. So you would add your wind corrections, so it's half steady plus full gust value, always the headwind component on that car, and then you just dial it in. No, so to be honest, I think personally, no. If you already have FS Labs, the EFB per se will give you a couple more features, right? Regarding performance calculations, Navigraph integration, that sort of stuff. But it's not really necessary, no. Hey Inspector, I'm using the Orbix North California. And I'm using the Flight Beam Studios San Francisco add-on. Okay, so the thing is, so the problem is, Nico, the Quality Wings add-on has not been updated for ages, and I don't think it will ever be updated again. I think Bruno said that Quality Wings doesn't exist anymore as a company. But again, I can't confirm that. I just heard that from Bruno. Yeah, Nanook, thanks for watching. Take care. All the best. So where's my marshaller? Is he standing right behind that beam? Lol. How am I supposed to see you there, my friend? Although he's actually in the terminal a bit faster. So we have to do that here. Right, there's 777-200 right there. Brakes on. APU is running. Shutdown items. Cabin crew, all doors in park. So what we would normally do is go doors page, wait until everything's in park. I have to do it manually. Doors, no, yeah, doors, disarm all. All right, all disarmed, fantastic. Again, last one to switch off is the right hydraulic pump. Fuel pumps off. That remains beacon off, seatbelts off. And then transponder off or standby. And let's read the checklist. So, shutdown checklist. Oh, here we have to switch these off as well. We don't have to do that in the 77, but here you have to switch that off. So, hydraulic panel set. Okay, shutdown, parking brake is set. That's the shutdown check was completed. Fantastic. Wonderful. And the good old GSX memes. Yeah, right. Seatbelts off, actually. So there we go. So let's get the jetways to there. So, welcome to San Francisco. That was a nice flight. Really enjoyed that. I'm going to go have a 10-minute break roundabout to set up Microsoft Flight Sim. I hope servers are up and running. And then we'll go and fly the ATR. We'll try the ATR 42 today, and Brennelt has given me a challenge to fly to do a steep approach in Canada somewhere. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for the support, as always. Thanks for all the resubs and new subs. Thank you so much, and I will see you very soon. My moderators, thank you so much. Take care, everyone.